Okay. Welcome to Big Natural Talents. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
It's another week.
Another fortnight.
Oh, is it?
In fact.
Well, we're going weekly, so just sort of keep up with that.
Doing our best. Try to keep up.
I have sort of a risky thing to start the pod with.
She does, and she's got a prop. What are you holding? Describe it.
So the other night, Lauren had a fancy little dinner party, and she made some really, and I can't even joke about this. Lauren is a really fantastic, sensational cook.
Thank you.
And I have literally not eaten all day, and we haven't even gotten to each other's days yet, but that's okay. Friendship transcends those kind of questions. And I haven't eaten, and so lovely the hospitality that we have some of that gorgeous leftover couscous salad.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my God, thank you. I'm a famished little orphan.
And she's not finished it, and she's brought in the bowl, and
Yeah.
I'm like, is there a hair in it?
And I said, Lauren, I have something to say about this, but I'm going to leave it for the pod, which is mental of me to do.
She didn't even say thank you.
No. I leave that for on my
Okay,
only.
what?
No, but I just thought, could this be something to talk about? That
Yeah.
is sort of about the humanity. I was shocked. So it's little baby couscous. It's like a little pastina. And I was shocked to see that you served it to me with a fork.
Interesting.
See,
Not a spoon.
Not a spoon. And I just want to say straight off the bat, Lauren, that if I could die with a spoon, if I could be buried with a spoon.
Gun to your head?
I have gun to my head.
Spoon or fork.
Spoon or fork. And yes, that was the one I was going to give you later. That's a game that we're going to debut later. That also
we're getting ahead of ourselves.
But I just was like, what do you mean, Lauren? This is all little things. There's no giant slabs of meat or tofu.
I just feel like the fork is a little bit more civilized than a spoon. And it's a salad, even if it is little thing. I don't eat pasta with a spoon. You eat it with a fork.
And I do.
It's a little bit more, it's a bit more proper. I feel like it's like table manners.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Now it's ASMR, so just
I was disappointed because this is what you get with a fork. I hate that. Oh, if you literally have to like scoop it up, if it's all small things, flip it to a spoon. No one is doing enough. Even when I see with a mousse or a dessert or like a cheesecake, I want a spoon. I do not want a fork.
You can have a spoon for a mousse or a cheesecake. I feel that. It's crazy that you've just like waited till we were in the room recording, so I can't even go get you a spoon to finish your salad.
No, I'm gonna eat it with my bare hands.
Kind of your cross to bear.
Also, something else that I'd like to say: I eat gnocchi with a spoon, and also I would chop up things so that I could eat it with a spoon. I chop up everything.
Yeah, like that's what people do for their babies.
And I want to keep that going for the rest of my life.
And then they give them a special little aeroplane.
So I'll leave
spoon.
this over here. No more prop. And that's what I sort of wanted to kick things off with.
Nice.
Just think about it at home. Gun to your head. Spoon or fork.
Spoon or fork.
And next time you're eating something, just switch it up.
Consider, should I have a spoon or a fork? Interesting. And you said you wanted to say something else about my little dinner party.
Oh my God, I did.
You did.
She comes red hot with the sort of
I'm inquiring. I am. We've actually got them written down. Would you believe it or not?
We're quite organized. But okay, Lauren, so you had this fantabulous, amazing dinner party, and I was so grateful to be there. Me and my gorgeous hubby, Ben Crumpet. And there was something that was happening the whole night that I got close to wanting to tell you.
Oh
and
my
then
God.
I obviously didn't, and I was like, I'll just leave it. But like, Lauren,
as a host, what did I do?
No, you were perfect. You're actually so perfect that Lauren, I had the farts. Like I had to fart so much of the night
in my house.
In
my dinner party.
Like it was like, I just want to know, this is relatable, right? And I was feeling sick because you're keeping them in. You're with all these people, and every time I went to the bathroom, I was farting, and I was worried. I was paranoid that it was like way too often, and people could tell.
Everyone knew. We were all talking about it.
And then Lauren, guess what? Like the second Ben and I left,
oh my God,
Ben said to me, he's like, I've been farting all night. We both had the exact same experience. And I was like, are you serious? I was going to the toilet and like pulling my ass cheeks apart, and you were doing the same. And he was like, what? No.
You guys have so much in common.
Sorry, I just think that's
Was
crazy.
this like you came with the farts? Or
no,
was it like
no,
the
it was after eating the
foods?
food.
A lot of food, maybe.
And
a
we
big
both
meal.
were like, it just, my brain wasn't even fully there. I
Yeah.
wasn't even fully on dinner party
It
mode.
was cauliflower. It was chickpeas.
Hummus.
It was hummus. It was.
So are you telling me no one else at the table had the farts?
I don't know. I just feel like that's like. If
we don't talk about.
You know, we were talking. It was a dinner party. We were talking about government. You know, the
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
the Gaza Strip, the conflicts. We were talking about.
Yeah.
You know, dinner
I was-
party.
I wasn't gonna bring up
Yeah.
that I needed to fart, but
I appreciate that you didn't. Actually,
I would never have done that. I would have brought
I
out
think
the
you
spoon
would've.
thing.
I'm surprised that you didn't.
But oh my god, like I just think that was crazy. And there was a moment we were both in the bathroom together.
That's what's crazy.
I wanted to tell you.
How do you navigate that? You know, I guess in a dinner party scenario. Listeners, please write in.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm alone in this. In that like it just distracted me from the
Yeah.
night, and I said to Ben, and he laughed and quoted me, and I said, I just wanted to go home and fart with my boyfriend. Because like that's, and so this leads into a bigger topic discussion.
Yeah.
But as you know, I was at the Manly Boat Shed, another great gig that we love to see it.
And did you fart there? I feel like we talk about the Manly Boat Shed a fair bit on this podcast. It's just a gig and it's fine and we're happy to do it, and thank you so much for booking us, and
No,
we'll be back.
I don't even have shade. No shade. All
No shade.
happy
No
things to say. But when I was emceeing, just like I just went with my gut and I started doing crowd work, and I was like, do you guys fart in front of each other? I just kept asking everyone, but I really like honed in on this really and everyone in the
Oh my
crowd, and there
God.
wasn't that many, there's like 6. They were all like, no. They're like, I mean, if one slips out, like sure.
Yeah, but you don't want to make like a performance of it. I was actually just reading a study about this. No, I was just reading a Reddit post about this, and it
Yeah.
reminded me of like one of my ex-boyfriends. He would like, because if you just do it, then it happens, and like that's life.
And you move
But
forward.
if you like make a point of doing it, it's disgusting, and it's okay to be disgusted by that. What do you mean? And this
I need
boyfriend,
you to be specific about
person-
making a point. What is he doing?
Okay, so this like Reddit post explained it perfectly. It was like my boyfriend's like being deliberately disgusting. He'll like walk into the room, look at me, and then fart, or he'll like burp.
That seems sexist and antagonistic. What
It's
me and my boyfriend
antagonistic.
are doing is
are you
love
doing?
based. It is just like if we're like hanging out and one of us farts, we're
Yeah.
laughing and we're like, and then like
That's okay. I feel like that's like, I mean, it's not something that I myself would engage in, but that's not violent to me. That's not that, you know, I'm not upset by
I
it.
don't understand. Like to me, that is pure vulnerability, pure comfort. Like that's
Yeah.
home to me. That I can like, I don't have to suck it in and make myself
Yeah.
feel sick at a dinner party.
But you're saying at my dinner party you didn't feel that you could be vulnerable.
I
You
didn't
feel
feel
you
like I could
can't.
let one rip, and it was really hard. No,
Yeah.
obviously I'm not a psycho. But to me, if you can't like, just as soon as they come, let them go and laugh about it, or you don't even address it.
Ladies,
Then to me, what do you like? You're just living your life in a box, in a
I
cage.
feel like you can just do it quietly and like, yeah, and then like not
How?
address it.
How do you do?
I just
Are you pulling your ass cheeks apart like
I
me?
can just control every part of my body.
Are you going into another room?
I don't.
Are you like farting in a
This
box?
is the one thing I didn't want for this podcast. Is to be interrogated.
I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble, everyone.
I can't believe this.
I'm sorry, but I don't know how to have this conversation without sounding crazy and manic.
It's not
I
crazy.
wish I could write like a dissertation, like an essay, and make it really academic. I wish I could convince people, like in a court case, like Kim Kardashian, of just being like, why I feel like, to me, it's a no-brainer that you should
But it's
fart.
not that crazy. People do it. People do it. It doesn't need to be talked about on a podcast every week about how you love to fart for your boyfriend. People are doing this. Everyone is
talked about it on the pod. It's every week to you in person off mic, okay? Because it's part of my...
I'm sick of it.
I even think of friendship. If it gets to a deep level, you're
Sure.
farting in front of each other, but that will never happen between us. You will never let that happen. You have too much control. So anyways, it was just so crazy to
Guys.
speak to a young couple and an old couple, and they were like, no, we don't.
They do, and they just didn't want to say it in public to a woman holding a microphone. Of
What
course
do you think
they
I'm gonna do?
didn't.
Call tonight. Like, I'm just a girl. Just wanting answers.
Okay, I think emotions are running a bit
I'm
high
sorry.
right
And
now.
also, you know what? Did I have any jokes? Did I come off the back with jokes of like,
No,
when
about farting.
No.
You just wanted to know.
I just actually was sort of doing an investigation.
Oh
So
my
that's
God.
I've sort of led the top of the pod. I'm actually going to ease back now.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my spoon and I'm going to just sort of sit back and not do as much work.
Go
And
get your
let you...
spoon, spread your ass cheeks quietly apart, and just let it all go.
When someone told me that advice, I found it very useful.
Who told you that?
I can't say it.
So it's a famous person.
Nicki Minaj told me.
To spread. Nicki Minaj would have a real task. Do you reckon Nicki Minaj has like louder farts because her ass is so big?
Yeah.
It'd be like working its way out of the cracks.
You
like
cannot tell me that Cardi B is not letting them rip in front of what's her husband's
she
name?
is. Of course
Number-
she is.
What's his name?
I don't know. Is she married?
To Migos. One of the guys in Migos. I can't remember.
I don't know, but she's farting.
Yeah,
big
she's
time.
funny. You know who it is? It's one with big fat asses. Okay, let's drop it. What are you saying? What do you want to say?
Oh my god. Well, like I had a story as well. I guess I'm excited to share, but it's not about farting. It's not
No,
about
it's gonna be
this.
great.
I don't know. Okay. Well, this is something I saw my grandma yesterday, and she told me the craziest thing ever because say she's 84 now. And before she was married in her like very early 20s, or actually since she was like 15, she worked as like a receptionist and like a technician at like a pathology center, blood tests and whatnot. And she was telling me about how they used to do the pregnancy tests.
No.
Okay. And pregnancy tests, something we both know and love.
Yeah, I do PT 5 times a week. Pregnancy tests.
Pregnancy tests. And we all know so pregnancy tests are like, you know, it's urine, like you put a little stick in it and it's like a line, or the high-tech ones, it says the word now. Did you hear about this?
It says pregnant.
Yeah.
Wow. It should like say, it should do emojis. That'll be next. The baby and the like.
Yes. And it's like, go off, queen.
Yeah.
And then there's like a blood test one as well. But this would have been like, I don't even know, 1940 or something. Someone who can do maths, hit me up. And she was telling me, okay, this is how they used to do pregnancy tests.
No.
So women would bring in a cup of their urine to the pathologist center. And I was like, yeah, of course. And then
I just pictured the doctor going. And then being like, pregnant.
That was delicious.
sorry. The doctor.
Okay. But my grandma actually had to do this. This was like as like a tech, she did this. To do a pregnancy test, you needed a cup of the woman's urine, 3 mice, the animal, and those mice, they couldn't be more than 20 days old. Okay.
Oh my!
You had to get
mice, baby
3
mice.
young mice. And what she would do is you had to inject the mice with the woman's urine and wait 3 days. Okay. And they would like keep the mice separate. They'd like label the mice. There'd be like 3 mice in a cage somewhere that said like Mrs. Caristo. Okay. And they would be like your like urine mice. And they would keep the mice for 3 days after injecting the urine, and then they would gas the mice to death. She just put them in a jar, and she said she just would put like a Bunsen burner in without the fire. It was very quick. It was painless. Kill the mice, cut them open, and then look at their ovaries. And if you were pregnant, the mice's ovaries had like grown and become fertile or something. Is that crazy?
That is crazy.
Is that the craziest?
And that worked. Is that real?
And that's real.
So we could.
I looked that up
Today. We could do it today if
Yeah.
you needed.
Do you want to know if you're pregnant and you can't buy a pregnancy test? Give me 3 mice.
Oh my god, this is like some Bear Grylls shit. Are you like
How?
stuck in the bush and you like have
Need to know if you're pregnant and all you have are juvenile mice. There's a mouse plague going on.
What?
in Queensland and New South Wales.
What does that mean?
Okay.
There's heaps of mice.
The fact that you don't even know about this just shows how much you care about our farmers.
Yeah, I don't. You were obsessed with the farmers.
No, I'm not actually, and that's what makes it interesting. But no, there's a mouse plague. It just means there's like shitloads of mice. They're running everywhere.
We gotta get the girls there.
It's actually a problem.
Let's hit up our Facebook and be like, my girls who want to know if they're pregnant, come with me to the bush.
I found a use for all of these mice.
Whoa. God, your Nana must be full of the best stories.
She's got the craziest stories in the
I
world.
wish she was on this pod.
I'm gonna get her on the pod.
Be like a third host.
She would
The
rip.
poor little mice. Mice have
I
been
know.
through the worst. You know?
Yeah. But how
That's
crazy.
horrible.
That's so funny. It's so crazy. And then she was telling me just before she left, they switched to using these big bullfrogs instead.
That's who we want to see fucked up.
Yeah,
Big
fuck them.
bullfrogs.
And it was the same thing. I think you had to inject the frog with urine. But then after a few days, they wouldn't, I don't know if they had to kill them or not, but probably like just for fun, like in science, they always do. They would lay like a big glob of jelly or something, and they would test this jelly, and that would tell them if the woman was pregnant or not. How did they even think of that? Like, how did scientists think to do that? That's what I'm always wondering.
They're thinking about that. I can think that.
Hormones, I
They're like,
guess.
oh yeah, little mice. We got to do it on little people. Let's.
Little women,
Piss
petite,
is how you
and,
know.
we'll
I
get
just keep thinking about these swollen little mice full of piss. You just like squish them and they're like.
they're like little water bombs full of piss. You
Yeah.
throw them on a wall. Throw it on a wall and it'll splurt, and it's like a gender reveal maybe.
That is mental.
I know. And I was like,
If
hang on, stop, go back. Because then she was like, oh, and it was so funny. A woman brought her urine in, and they said like on the note where it was like, you can bring in your urine to this address on Macquarie Street in Sydney. You can come in this way by the bus if you want. And this woman came in with her bag, the little bag of paper bag with her jar of urine on it, and it was all sopping wet. And she was like, why do you say I can bring it in on the bus if every time the bus stops, it just flops around and spills everywhere?
There's no lid.
There's no, yeah. And my grandma was like, because people normally put a lid on it, honey.
Oh my gosh, she's like carrying a bowl.
She was just a stupid woman. But my grandma was telling me this, which is like arguably the funny part of the story. And I was like, wait, go back. If I give you 3 mice, you can tell me if I'm pregnant. She's like, yeah, give me 3 days.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy.
That's just like a beautiful story I want in a book.
It's amazing.
It's like a scary story.
Like how far we've come.
Yeah. Wow. And now I just had this thought, Lauren, that like one day we'll get the gig where like we are the voice that narrates your pregnancy test. Like either it's like it's like there's like we're in the future and you're doing a pregnancy test, and then like when you pull it out and it's like I'm like, hey girl, you're pregnant.
Oh yeah, it's like not even a line, it's not even a word, it's our voices.
It's voices. And you're like, boo, you're good, you're not pregnant. You know,
all
whatever.
good. Because you should be able to buy pregnancy tests that are like, I want a baby pregnancy test, and like, I don't want a baby pregnancy test.
Yeah, so you're less alone.
You should actually, because they're like very like toxic marketing.
Okay, so what's the line for we want to have a baby?
It's like, congratulations, you're pregnant.
Yeah, we love it.
And then if you're not pregnant, it's like, I'm so sorry. This is actually really common, and
we love you as well.
And it's going to be okay, and give it a try. And it comes with like 6 different tests. So you can keep trying, you know?
Yeah.
But then the one where
that you don't want it.
It's one test and it's foolproof. And it's sold and it looks like hair dye or something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's in an incognito box. And it comes with a cup for you to piss in, because sometimes you're doing it like in a public toilet and you don't have a cup.
Yeah.
And it says, okay.
It talks to you before you even do it. You open it, it's like, okay, queenie.
Okay, queen. Take a breath.
We're in this together.
We're in this together no matter what I say, because I can say some fucked up shit. I've said some fucked up shit to chicks. You know, I've told chicks that they're pregnant. And I regret it, but I'm in this and I tell the truth. And that's kind of my cross to bear. That I'm a truth teller.
I'm a truth teller.
Yeah, and then if you're not pregnant, it says like...
It's like, fuck you up. Get the hell out of
Get
here.
out. Buy some condoms, you dumb slut, next time, okay? Because that's... Thank God you missed it this time. And then it's like, if you are pregnant, it's like, take a deep breath, go have a cigarette.
Because this
go
will be your last one.
have a drink, have a think. You could still, like, no one can tell you're pregnant yet, so you can still do these things.
Oh my god, this is incredible technology.
This is marketing. Is anyone in marketing
and I
listening
can just
to
see
this?
us, like, we're the face of it.
We are the face of this. And what, am I the face of the wanted pregnancy one?
And you get to live another day.
Live or die. Oh, wow. Well, pregnancy, this, that bit of, let's take a twisting turn to our next topic.
Yeah, we actually have an idea for moving this podcast a fraction to a concept. A more...
I know, don't freak out.
We're freaking out. Sorry,
Yeah.
I could not be getting more emails in my life. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. She's getting emails. It's a subject line payment, bit of a brag.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Finally.
good to know. But yeah, so we were thinking about how can we kind of make this podcast a little bit tighter conceptually. Maybe just so, you know, it's not every week that my grandma tells me something fucked up about what science used to be like. And we were really loving the gossip sections of the podcast. Yeah. Correct.
And just thinking about gossip in terms of, I think about gossip could be really anything like, world gossip to me is just the news. All news is gossip. And also what happens to us in each other's lives as friends, also gossip. And then not even fan submissions. What do you call it? Like listener submission.
Because you are not our fans.
Gossip of the people. Gossip. Well, I'm not going to put fan in your mouth. If you want to say fan yourself, please. But I'm not
Go ahead.
going to spoon feed you fan.
Maybe you're listening to this podcast under duress. Gun to your head. Listen to my podcast. Is what's happening here.
Maybe someone is like held at ransom and the kidnappers have the pod on. And so you're like, God, I thought this was bad. And then it got worse.
Yeah, but I like to think that if someone was like held captive and they were made to listen to our podcast, they would come out of that safe and well. And they would say, that was the only spark of light in such a dark time.
Yeah, I wish the exact same thing.
And if you are listening and you're being held captive, this is dark. Oh my God. Sorry. I don't think I can help you.
But no, back to the gossip thing. We're thinking of talking more gossip, which would mean having more people submit their gossip and really putting our ears to the ground journalistic style. Yeah.
And this is also, we want to make clear, like, you know, we don't want to be mean.
It's
and
not with a bad intent.
No, and it's going to be anonymous and it's just going to be silly little things. And so to kind of help get some more gossip, especially if you don't know us that well and you don't want to DM us or whatever, although that has never stopped anyone who's wanted to DM me. But if you're like a nice normal person who doesn't know us and feels weird DMing or wants to be anonymous, we have set up a Curious Cat page, which is basically, it's like anonymous messaging site. I think it's primarily used for cyberbullying, but you can go in there and you can send us some gossip. So we're big natural talents on Curious Cat. It's linked on Twitter and stuff.
Oh yeah, so I just a soft pitch is we're thinking, what if we take it more in the gossip based direction, which will obviously still include us talking about random stuff, but it would go back to that every week. And because our loyal, gorgeous, loving listeners, we care about your feedback and what your enjoyment level is. If you love the sound of this, DM us, put it in the Curious Cat. I don't know, whatever way you can let us know. And if you, was that for love or hate? Either way, just tell us what you think.
Put love in the reviews. Put hate in the DMs. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead with that, and then so that you'll get a vibe. So first, I'll read off the Curious Cats we got, and also if anything, we've got some alright stuff in here, but there's definitely room for improvement. So do send us some interesting pieces of gossip. Okay, so this one is a question for Concetta, actually. So Concetta, previously in an episode you were talking about how a vibrator company wanted you to promote their product.
I really need to get back to them.
Can Concetta confirm that the vibrator company she was being asked to promote is the same one Nina Oyama was just promoting? Nina Oyama, friend of the show, we'll get her on the pod as a guest hopefully someday.
I don't know what Nina's is for.
You don't know what she's
Why
up
didn't
to?
you put that in?
You're not looking at her
No.
feed?
No, darling.
I think Rosie Piper is also going to be promoting this. Now you don't feel so special, do you?
No. And I don't know if I'm going to do it. I mean, the only reason I was going to do it is to get a free vibrator.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, so don't know. Wish I knew the name.
Can't confirm. But I'm going to take an educated guess and say it probably is.
It probably is. if she's hitting up the local Sydney comedy scene
The scene,
to get comics too.
which unfortunately we're in. We're in it.
I would rather know, do you want me to do it, slut?
Yeah, do you
Would
want
it matter
us to do it?
to you to know what my preference is for a sexual toy?
When you think about purchasing a sexual aid of any kind, do you think, what would Concetta Caristo do?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I love to feel pleasure, as you all know.
As we all know, that's all you like to do.
Farting with my boyfriend.
Farting or eating in any way. Caligula over here, really. Also in the Curious Cat, someone just said post arse pics. We do all the time. Okay, it's actually winter. It's just not happening.
Yeah, we're in hibernation right now. My ass is like so white.
It's white and like it just scroll back a bit. Back when I had a good ass. Okay, like I'm under no obligation to share with you what's going on right now.
But I will talk about it till the inch and nail.
Not that kind of ass stuff. And then this person said, this guy at work keeps taking off mental health days. And we asked him if everything was all right. And he said he has crypto depression. So that's cryptocurrency.
Okay, but here's a question. Did he say that in like a joking way, or did he say that in a really serious way? Because the tone it was said really is informing my emotion, but I'm already having a reaction. I was like, fire him.
Fire. Oh my God, I can't believe you're on the boss's side. No.
I know. I love capitalism.
No,
No, but like, you're depressed because you're not
workers.
making money on this little thing that I don't
Cryptocurrency.
know
Yeah,
about and I'm jealous of. Okay, that's not fair.
Newsflash, neither are we. I don't know. It's very volatile. I can say
I
it would
just,
be
like-
upsetting, but it's kind of like, you made your bed, now lie in it,
And I actually don't think it's that. I don't think a
it's that.
man's mental health issues are to do with not making money off cryptocurrency. It's like there's more underneath that.
There's more. It's probably about his dad.
And you know what I'd say to him? Go to therapy then. Go to therapy. If you're not using those mental health days to go to therapy, then you don't deserve them. So this is specifically
This is
men
getting
skewed.
crazy.
I know, I'm like going off and I don't care. But like men especially, they don't want to do the work. They just want to like take off the day from work and then like, oh, I'm sad about money. No.
Yeah.
Am I being mental?
I think you're being pretty harsh, but that's
Because
kind
I'm
of
his boss.
if there's any advice people have given us in the world of commercial radio, of which we are not a part of, not by our choice, but by theirs, it's that you should form an opinion and you should stick to it. So that's kind of what we're doing. This is kind of a little drive time peek of what's happening. So this is you saying, if you're not going to use your mental health aids effectively, don't use them. And this is me saying...
but that's not me to everyone. That's not me to
I
the
know,
girlies.
it's just to this guy.
If the girlies said that.
Oh, no. The girlies, please. You need the mental health day. That's
do-
everything.
Sorry, there's a lot of man hating from me, but it's not even man hating. It's just like man critiquing.
Yeah.
And to you, I want to know your full vulnerable answer. What do you think this is? A joke or is this real?
I think he's like a bit tongue in cheek. I think he's probably taking some liberties with his days off from work. But I also like love days off from work, and like I think you should just be able to take days off from work for like no
me
questions
too.
asked.
That's why I don't have a job.
Because like yeah,
I'm like I want all the days.
every
off
day
work.
is a mental health day for us. Are you kidding? But sometimes a mental health day is not like, oh, you need to go to therapy. It's just like, no, like humans just shouldn't have to work every day. Like you just need a day.
This is freaking me out. I agree.
I know you do.
I obviously agree. Take every freaking day off of your life. But I think, why are we bringing up cryptocurrency? If the question is just,
So I think you were
he's
triggered
taking off,
by cryptocurrency.
yeah. If he's just, if you're just saying a guy from my work is taking off a lot of mental health days, what do? I say, girl, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
But I just thought this became about
But he's
cryptocurrency,
dragged
and then I
it
sort
in.
of got in the vibe of men's mental health and how they just.
Instead of talking to someone, they're mining Bitcoin, like why don't
I'm just like thinking about, I'm getting triggered by all my exes who like, one was like, oh, I'm going to a therapist, and then he like went and saw a Reiki healer, and then another one who's just like, would like call me and like threaten suicide and like definitely had alcoholism and was just like open about the fact that he like didn't care and he loved hurting people. So that's probably a narcissist there, but like that's what's making me be like, no, do it.
leave your poor coworker alone. Get out of CoinJar or Coinbase or wherever you're trading your crypto, and just, make sound investments and put that money into kind of a long-term ETF maybe.
Yeah, talk to Lauren.
Lauren
Lauren's the barefoot investor. She's the like no bra investor or something.
I am the kind of like Oliver Twist of investment, not Oliver Twist, the Sydney comedian who we love, but Oliver Twist, the fictional character, the boy swindler.
Lauren is the bell-bottom jeans investor.
I'm getting Centrelink and I'm investing it. You know, I'm kind of making some moves here. But have I talked about my Bitcoin thing on
About
the
your
pod about
boyfriend?
my ex?
I don't know actually.
In a few words, if anyone has crypto depression, it's me, okay,
Mhm.
sir. Because in 2016, I had Bitcoin like years ago, even earlier actually. I had it earlier than 2016. But then in 2016, my boyfriend at the time was like, babe, you've got to sell. It's never getting higher than this. Okay. And so I sold my Bitcoin, 0.7 Bitcoin, for about $400. Pause for reaction, because there
Pause
are
for effect.
some nerds out there who are listening to this. We know you're our audience, and they understood what that meant, because today, I haven't checked the market right now. Actually, I think it's had a bit of a crash. But recently, at least, that would have been worth about $50,000. And
That's horrible.
now
And
I
that's
don't-
why she needs
yeah.
sick days off work.
Yeah, and I need to take some years off for that. I need to take a year off. And that's why, because $50,000, that's a year's salary. It's actually
Crazy.
more big money than I've ever
Far
made.
out. That's the way it goes. You'll never know.
Anyway,
What's
so
next?
what other gossip? You actually, Concetta went to the hairdresser.
I did some homework.
and I
for
said,
gossip.
I bet hairdressers have all the gossip in the
Yeah.
world.
Lauren recommended me her hairdresser. I had to go get it cut if you didn't notice.
Was
We
she
had to
good? Were you
cut-
happy with her?
Yeah, I'm so happy with her. I'm so happy with her. She was lovely. I
Okay,
just
good.
was like so ecstatic to be getting a haircut. Do you ever just let yourself go so much that you the sweet relief of just having attention? It's what okay, you know what it feels like? You know that show, and it's the gay guys, and it's like gay
was
straight
try-
man for the gay
I was trying to think of a funny show that I could say, like
2.5 Men.
Everybody Loves Raymond. Like,
Still funny.
oh my god. Okay, is it crazy if I just pause this story for 1 second, because I just reminded myself I had a nightmare about you last night.
And Ray Romano.
And Ray Romano.
I've famously had a sex dream about. Like, but not even just a sex dream. Like, we were married and I was happy. Kind of sex dream. Like a future sex dream.
So you went like, Ray. Anyway, so yeah,
What?
no, this just reminded me. Okay, I dreamt that we were at like a theme park. It wasn't Movie World, but it was like another kind of Movie World. And I was
Yeah.
obviously very excited to be there. And you were there too. There were other people as well. And then, but we just like weren't going on any rides, and you just didn't seem interested in like being at
What?
movie.
This is someone like me.
I know, and that's why I was like, Concetta, aren't you excited? We could go on Scooby Doo. And you were like, we went on Scooby Doo with the other one.
That's
and
a
then
horrible thing for me to
we
say.
ran into Ray Romano.
No! My ex, Ray Romano?
Yeah, we saw your ex Ray, and I was like, oh my god, it's Ray Romano, and I was so excited. And I took some selfies with him, but they were really bad. And I was like, oh, let's just take some more. Can we use your phone, Concetta? And you're like, yeah, whatever. And you gave me your phone. I couldn't log into it, and I was like, can you just log in? And then you were just like, not opening the and Ray Romano was like waiting for us to take the photo. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like we'll just be 1 second. And I couldn't open the camera. We couldn't get the camera, and you weren't making any efforts to open the camera, and you just couldn't. And you were like, no, just wait, I need to reply to this email. And Ray Romano was waiting.
I sound depressed. Why don't you care?
I don't know, I was so stressed.
Is that the nightmare?
Yes.
It ends there.
Yes.
You couldn't get a photo with
And
Ray
then I
Romano.
jerked awake, and I went because I only had I did get photos with Ray Romano, but they were ugly. And then you
Yeah,
were
that's
making
your worst nightmare. This stupid little slut's worst nightmare in her life is to have ugly photos with a celebrity.
Yeah.
To look slightly
no,
bad.
but then it was my friend not even caring that Ray Romano was there, and also kind of like wasting Ray Romano's time.
Oh, I'm on Ray Romano's time?
We were on Ray Romano's time. He was with his family, and you were not. Do you know what
This sounds like to me? This sounds like a friend who was just like glazing over the fact that I have like severe mental health issues and I'm like seriously not okay. And I'm like trying to give her the signs and I'm like, please ask me if I'm okay. And
No,
instead she's
you
like,
were being-
take a photo of me and Ray Romano, bitch, who is literally my ex. He's like my ex-husband from another dream.
You were being a bit.
You are being a bitch. You're being a bitch and we are fighting because of this nightmare.
We've been fighting on this podcast this whole time. We're 30
I think
minutes
I'm bringing
in.
a dark energy. You know that I love you so much,
I
but I
think
have
you
a dark
are.
energy today.
You're really
I'm telling
upset.
men to go to therapy.
And Ray Romano was just a trigger. Okay, so what did the hairdresser say?
Oh my god, are you actually mad?
No, no, but I'm just saying that was my nightmare.
Wow, that is like so not a nightmare. You don't get to say that's a nightmare. That's just a dream that didn't go your way.
Well, we saw Ray Romano and then we couldn't even take a photo with him because you were being a bitch. And we wasted Ray Romano's time. Like, you weren't being respectful of Ray Romano. And I think that was most of the stress. Because I felt like the burden was on me to kind of be apologizing and, like, maintaining. I'm like, oh, so sorry, Ray Romano. Like, we'll just be a moment.
And I'm like this.
And he was
Ray
waiting.
Romano.
He was being patient. He was really giving us his
he's
time.
a really lovely guy.
Yeah, he's the best guy.
And
he listens to this podcast.
I'm gonna like send him and his people a letter of apology.
Yes, you should.
And ask for a signed photograph.
I would love that. So I know you're just joking and you're actually going to forget about it the second you leave this room. But if you did that, it would be awesome and it'd be good content. And I think the listeners would like it as well.
No, absolutely will. I'll like, can I Instagram DM
Sure,
him?
yeah, please.
Put him on my story.
Okay.
What was the next? Oh, so back to this.
The
I went to
hairdresser.
the hairdresser and Lauren gave me the assignment of mining the hairdresser for gossip. And straight up, the first question I asked Lauren was, is it true that hairdressers get a lot of gossip? And she was like, oh, yeah.
Ah.
She was just like, yeah, we get it so much all the time, every day, as if it was nothing. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's so cool.
Awesome. People probably tell her, like,
Everything.
I need to get this blow dry because I'm cheating on my husband.
My financier.
My
husband.
finance, I need to have highlights put in to suck the dick of my husband's tennis coach. She would be hearing it. Okay, so
yeah,
what did she
and so
tell
she was
you?
like, yeah, and then, but she was also saying like, there's such a high turnover of gossip that like she's not even remembering it. Like she'll just
not
go
as
home, tell
precious.
her boyfriend one story, and then like that's it.
Yeah.
So, there was.
So
one
he's really the source that we should be talking to.
yeah.
He's just gathering the best ones.
But the story I told you the one story that she said, which was a really big deal at the dinner party, for fabulous dinner party conversation, just pretty much that this man was like cheating on his, or like he ended a marriage and then immediately flew to Italy or something and had a mistress, a young girl mistress that he'd been like going and meeting on work trips. And there's a lot more detail to the story, but
Yeah.
as I told Lauren, my little brain is like a small bowl, and if the bowl's overflowing, it's like you can't put anything in the bowl. It's overflowing. I'm
The
not gonna.
meatballs are falling on the ground and they are rolling away.
You know, and I'm also getting a haircut, so I'm like thinking about my own hair and having my own problem. So that one's like, yeah. But then this one stood out in my brain because it's actually about the cost of gossip, which has actually made me quite trepidatious to think about making this the angle of our podcast.
Okay.
But she said that this thing happened where someone, so it's a story that happened to a friend, but again, no one cares, it doesn't matter. But like what happened was this woman was doing this lady's hair, and this lady told her story to this hairdresser being like, yeah, I used to like have a really fucked up life. I was like addicted to drugs and alcohol. I had HIV or hepatitis or whatever it is. And
Okay,
like
2 different diseases.
yeah, I absolutely
both
fucked it up.
also misunderstood, very treatable, manageable, and maligned communities.
Something like that. Like I think it was the hepatitis one, and she was like, you know, I would just like was spinning out of control, and then I got my life back on track. So it was just like telling your life story to this hairdresser, and then I think what happened was then the hairdresser either told someone else or the hairdresser spoke to her husband. She now had a husband and a family.
So this is our hairdresser did this, or
No,
this is
our hairdresser's
friend who's also a hairdresser.
You know,
Okay,
if
this
we
is
actually,
Inception.
You know what it actually is? It's actually like the hairdresser that taught her at TAFE. This happened to her.
A mentor.
A
So this is
mentor.
actually gossip is like in the curriculum. Okay, at hairdressing school. She's like, and this is why you don't gossip with your little, what do you call them? Patients.
Patience. And so it got back to the husband.
It got back to her husband that she used to be
Yeah.
like a drug
Yeah.
addict.
and he didn't know that she had hepatitis, and apparently she like stormed, the woman who told the story stormed into the hairdresser and was crying, wailing, screaming, being like, you ruined my life.
Oh my god.
And that is the story. It was just about like, you know, it wasn't probably intentional, but like something got back to, and also we're like, how would she have known that the husband didn't know? But it like had serious repercussions for this poor woman. And she said that was like
And that's why our gossip is always anonymous.
fully anonymous. Yeah, it's like you shit where you eat. But then you know what's so funny is like immediately after she said that, she was like, and also there, I knew this guy who like never washed his hair, and then it was just fine. Like that was her extra gossip.
She
of
was
just like the fact is, if you stop washing your hair just like looks after itself. It's like a real thing.
That's like what everyone remember
But
in
she
high
said
school.
that
That
as
was always
gossip.
the thing. That was always what people were doing. They were always like, if you actually stop washing your hair for 6 months, then it just self-regulates.
Yeah.
And there were always those girls who like had messy buns for like a whole term because they were trying to do this hair thing, and it's like, you've just got dandruff. Like, just relax. Just I don't know.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really funny that in the same breath she was like,
She
and
was
that's
still
gossip
ready.
as well. That's hair gossip.
I mean, that's not. That's all. That's not fun gossip, but that is interesting.
No,
to
yeah,
think.
not fun gossip.
Why would you not tell your husband that you had?
And I know we really,
but
must
then
have
you
passed
would tell your
judgment,
hairdresser. I guess, but that's
but,
what's
that is
interesting,
an
isn't it?
interesting thing.
Because
of,
there's sometimes less and more intimacy between you.
and that's the same reason why
And
I
a
feel like
stranger.
you should fart in front of your partner, because like if they can take that, if you're always open and honest.
Do you fart in front of your hairdresser? Would you fart in front of Lily, our hairdresser?
No, you're not my partner.
She's in her workplace.
What are you talking about? Now you think I fart in front of everyone because I believe in farting in front of your partner? No.
This is like one of your
I'm
ethical.
saying, like, I never want to hide anything from my partner, because like, what if that's the thing that breaks the camel's back? And what if one day you fart so bad that your boyfriend breaks up with you, and that's on you? That's your own fault when he could have known.
He won't.
He's
not
might.
going to.
And he's
I'm
like,
gonna get him in here.
can I just say this? This is like so funny to like reference another podcast, but I was listening to this other podcast. It's called Every Little Thing, and I think it's just like people writing questions. I'm just trying to like open my brain, and if anyone doesn't know this, I'm trying to get hobbies and I'm trying to learn things. And so I'm listening to this podcast I've never listened to before, and I got on this episode about people are to send in their most embarrassing stories, which I was like,
I
maybe
love
that's
this.
the best angle. I love embarrassing stories. My whole life is an embarrassing story. I believe in the nature. And anyways, this woman, speaking of farting, just told my favorite, where she was like at work and she did a fart that smelled so bad that the office people had to call like a technician or a plumber to like, because they thought there was a sewerage leak. And they called someone out, and she was sitting there being like, it's just me. And like, this guy's looking at the pipes, he can't find anything wrong. And as he's leaving, she runs out and she's like, please stop. Like, you don't have to do that.
You don't
It
have
was
to do
just
this.
me. Please.
Take me.
Clean out my pipes.
It's like the Hunger Games. She steps forward from the crowd. It was me.
And I think that's so funny.
She got said, like, if she just did it at the end, then like they've already paid the call out fee. I would be like, yeah, let them check the pipes. I'd be like, let them
pay $1 million.
let them tear open these walls. Let a man climb up in here. Like, what do you mean? Worst case scenario, your company, who cares about their money? They're paying for like a independent contractor, this kind plumber gets a good day's work. For what? I lose nothing.
That's so funny, and they do all this work, and then it happens again 6 months down the track, and
They're
they're
like, ooh, maybe we should call the plumber again. Maybe it's unrelated to me eating hummus for dinner.
I can't remember a fart smelling so bad that people don't think it's a fart.
That's amazing. That's
amazing.
transcendent.
That's a transcendent, incredible story, and this is the power of stories.
What would even be your most embarrassing moment as someone who doesn't seem to be embarrassed by anything
I'm
like
embarrassed
this?
all the time. That's
You'd just
so
be
rude.
embarrassed by like
You
if
know
someone
what it
saw
is.
you like eating bad pasta or something.
I know that's so. I mean, yeah, I think I've been embarrassed actually a lot in my life. But the only ones I think of is obviously the shitting in front of my mum is probably embarrassing. because
Shitting
it
in the
involved
gutter
me
in front of your
shitting
mother.
in public, but it was really late at night, so there wasn't like a whole crowd
Yeah.
looking. The other one was, but this was like embarrassing but more sad because no one really knows. But like I pissed my pants waiting for a tennis lesson. I made the choice to piss my pants because I couldn't find
You
a
didn't
toilet
have a choice. You
anywhere.
could have popped a squat in a bush or something.
No.
It didn't cross your mind.
It didn't cross my mind. I just, that's mental that I just was like, no, I have to piss myself. So to me, there's something more embarrassing about like the publicness of it. What is yours?
I
Because
can't
you're
think
someone
of
who
one.
literally, that's your one kryptonite is
Well,
being
I've never like
embarrassed.
shat my pants, as we know. as I've
never
made
even
quite
farted,
clear.
as
I've
we
never
know.
even farted. I've never even shat in a toilet, as we know. I don't know. I can't. I'll think on it. I'll have to
Okay.
meditate on it because I
crazy.
can't think of like this
Have you been
one
embarrassed in
thing.
the past week? Have you felt that emotion?
I don't think so. Just like when you bomb at a gig or something, like that's embarrassing.
That's up there for me.
Are you kidding? Like, yeah, like if you're not like it's everything. Every night I embarrass myself. It's called stand-up comedy. I'm kind of immune to being embarrassed. I said it before. I did 45 minutes to silence at the Manly Boat Shed, and that's
actually awe-inspiring.
what I'd rather shit my pants.
You wouldn't though. Actually.
I wouldn't actually.
You've made your choice.
And I will do that gig again, no questions. I've got some gossip actually, which is some good examples of like old family gossip. You know, every family I feel like has these like, you know, cool like old like legendary.
It's like in books, old.
Yeah,
books.
old family gossip. And so I'm also going to keep it very anonymous. This is a friend of mine has told me this gossip. She's got a few stories.
Yeah.
This one is kind of a classic
Mm-hmm.
in the tale of family gossip, and it involves a secret family. So this is, picture it, the 50s,
Yeah.
England. And it was like her like grandfather's brother or something, so some great uncle relation in England. And he had two families in this town, which wasn't like London. It was like a small-ish English town. The first wife did not know about the other wife.
No.
The second wife did know about the wife.
Yeah.
And so he would literally, and also a lot of people in the small town just knew.
No.
But they didn't say anything because it was the 50s in England, and they were like, well, that's not my business.
I would do the same today.
Oh, well, no. I wouldn't want to get involved. But that's actually like a thing, isn't it? Like I was even listening to, there's like that podcast, The Teacher's Pet, which is about like a possible murder that happened on the northern beaches in the 80s. If you listen to that, Teacher's Pet, good pod. But it's like all these people in the 80s, literally quite recently, but in like a privilege, I wasn't that privileged at the time, but just being like, oh, well, the wife, she just kind of went missing and I just didn't think it was my place to say anything. Like until very recently,
That's
people
literally to anything.
Yeah. But anyway, so all the people knew, and no one told the first wife. The second wife did know, and how he got away with it because he had like a job that was like trucking or something. And then also his family, like his extended family, like didn't know. So my friend's grandfather, his brother, he found out because literally once he was just like in town and this young girl came up to him and was like, oh, are you Joe Bloggs? And he was like, yes. And she was like, you're my uncle. And he was like, what? And then he like confronted his brother about it, and he confirmed it, and he was like, yeah, I've got two families. And then he didn't even tell like his sister-in-law, the other wife. He didn't tell anyone because he was like, oh, it wasn't my business.
Oh my god.
Is that crazy?
That's crazy.
And then this is another one. I think it is the same grandfather as well, so that just adds a bit of spice. There was a death in the family. Tragic. I'm not going to go into it, but he died. He was in his 40s. But he also had like quite a bad marriage to the person that he was married to in the family. He was like a bit of a cheater. He had mistresses, and it was very known that he had mistresses. He had a 21-year-old girlfriend at the time, and he was in his 40s. And so he passed away. And then at his funeral, the mistress came to the funeral, 21, with all her friends. And she like sat right at the front and like made a scene. And so like, and then also this is like a lot of the family, like they kind of knew he was like a bit of a philanderer, but they didn't know he like had a girlfriend. So
and
they
she's
come
popular.
and she's popular and she's a queen bee. And I picture her wearing a big hat and sunglasses. And so she was like sitting at the front.
What years is this? Still the 50s?
No, this is the 90s, I'd say.
Whoa.
And so then she's like sitting at the front, 21s. She's crying. She's like, woo. And then he had, the man who'd passed away, he had a daughter who was probably around the same age as the mistress, if not a little bit older, as well as like his current wife and then his ex-wife. And there was like a moment in the funeral where they were like, now some special women from his life will come up and place a rose. And then the mistress tried to get up and join in on the rose ceremony. And then she like got up and she was making a scene. And then the grandfather, he stood up and he was like, you're a slut. And he like shouted at her, and then she left. She stormed out.
Oh,
So much drama. Can
that's
you imagine
just
that?
like something I want to see in my life.
It's a movie.
Why? My life's so boring.
I know. I go to funerals and I just cry.
I'm like, That's a story you would tell until the end of time.
Yeah.
That's something you'd think about when you'd look out a window most days.
Like, we shouted a 21-year-old mistress out of a funeral. Like, that's amazing.
That's amazing. I feel like my 26 years, you could just like sweep them under a rug. No one would. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to show. That is like, to do that and to see that are the two greatest things I've ever known to be possible.
It's very good. Hey.
That, to me, you know who I've cast her as?
Yeah. The mistress?
No. Yes. The one from Pretty Woman. Even though she's 18, I want to see Julia Roberts play that part.
But I feel like she's more of a villain than Julia Roberts.
I know. But maybe we should have
I love Julia Roberts.
Can I just say this, Lauren? For some weird-ass reason, I felt like... Do you know the movie August Osage County?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, my God. For some reason, it was just like... my vibe today. No wonder I have like a dark energy.
What?
I just was like, I want to see scenes from that film, and they're all like so nuanced and like fighting, and Julia is like a star in it, and Meryl is a star, and there's like incest and there's like family stuff, and it's like crazy. And so like I need you to see it.
Okay.
And everyone else.
So I can understand your vibe. This quite, I think, dialogue heavy film based on a play.
Yeah.
Always trying to make me watch terrible things.
No, it's not true. Doubt is a great movie to watch, and August Osage County. Okay, look, moving on from gossip. I have a gossip submission, and I realize that it's on my phone, but I think I can remember it. Lauren, please don't get mad at me.
Go on.
But just one person responded to my request for gossip, and they said that her brother's girlfriend. So this girl who sent me the gossip, she has a brother,
girlfriend, kind of like a sister-in-law, not married.
Yeah, an almost sister-in-law. So brother's girlfriend broke up with her brother because the sister, the girl who sent me this, she makes jokes about incest.
Whoa. Okay, so they must be a comedian.
Yeah, and you're actually going to be shocked when I tell you.
Well,
who it is.
It's a shame that it's not a shorter list of comedians with incest jokes that jump to mind.
But I think it must be like, I have a feeling it's joking about it.
Yeah.
And joking around the girlfriend. It's not like doing a 5.
Oh, it's not on stage. It's like making jokes about incest.
Being like,
I can see like maybe they did cross the line. Maybe if they're like, if like one of Alex's siblings were like always joking about incest.
Yeah, you'd be like, do you want to fuck?
I'd be like,
but wouldn't you just like talk about it with your partner and be like, it's weird, like, and just like rise above it?
Rise above. Yeah, I guess. It's funny to end the relationship. Like, sure, I think there was other stuff going on. Come on. It has to be
like
other
a great
stuff.
excuse.
I wonder how old they were
it's
as well.
It's just the crypto depression excuse
for
a bigger thing. What a callback.
I call crypto. And then the other submission, do you have?
No,
you have another one.
It's, yes, there is another submission, and someone wants us to speak about something.
Yeah.
They want us to speak to a gossip that we should be talking about, which is, I don't actually know when or where or why, but that it came out that Halle Berry is apparently bad.
In bed.
Yeah,
people were talking about it somewhere, like on a podcast or something, and then I don't know, because then I was trying to do some quick research about this. There weren't like any like great sources, which would be crazy if there were great sources. To be like, oh, you actually fucked her, happy to talk about it. But then she like posted on her Instagram responding, being like, ask my man. And I was like, okay, cool.
And then it was quashed. No one thinks it anymore.
I don't know, but do you think, I don't know, I feel like I don't know much about Halle Berry, but that makes me like inclined. I was like, I believed it straight away.
She was Catwoman.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
Well, your boyfriend made a really funny point, like, of being like, of course, she's a hot girl.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah. But he was also joking when he said that. He was like, you know how people are always like, oh, hot chicks, they don't have to try. And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm so bad in bed.
And I was like, and that's why I'm so good. Look, I would literally have no idea, and literally...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like...
I just don't believe it. I feel like the bar has to be so low for a girl to be bad at it. You have to be like a full-on starfish.
I also feel like if this person is someone who like would talk about it, then maybe they weren't that famous and they fucked Halle Berry. And also, when you're fucking Halle Berry, you would come into it with a lot of expectations. And maybe it was just like normal sex. And
maybe
then they were like,
day.
She's like not good. When it's like, yeah, like no, she's just human. And she's Halle Berry, yes, so you came into it expecting the works, expecting Catwoman.
It couldn't be as bad as I still cannot get over the story Cam told us, of
Yeah.
Mr. The guy from Titanic. Sorry, I'm turning into
Leonardo
my grandmother.
DiCaprio.
Mr. DiCaprio having sex while putting on noise-canceling headphones and closing his eyes.
Yeah, and like vaping.
Vaping. That's, to me, like, mental.
That's so funny. And
Like,
then
Hallie wasn't doing that.
No.
And we are being so harsh on Hallie.
yeah, hey, that's just the double standard, isn't it? Do you reckon have we talked about who we think would be good in bed? So who I think would be good in bed as a celeb that I've thought about a lot. Not in like a weird way.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
You think he'll be bad or good?
I think he'd be amazing in
Yeah.
bed. Are you kidding?
Yeah, he'd be great.
I can't-
Oh, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. I feel
But this just, I feel like, is hotness.
like yeah, I know. I think Brad Pitt is like the hottest man in the world. Gets hotter every year. But I'm
It's like,
not
you know what-
singling him out for sexual prowess.
You know who we're not talking about if they're
I'm
good
not.
at sex? Joe Rogan.
Oh, I'd hate to fuck Joe
Mhm.
Rogan.
What about people
Who else?
Carl Stefanovic?
Oh,
Come on, you gotta make a choice.
I think he'd be alright. I think he'd be enthusiastic.
Okay.
Gun to my head. Yeah.
What about
Cameron Diaz? I think she'd be good.
she'd be good.
She'd be fun.
Drew Barrymore. Lucy
Great.
Liu. They're all fantastic. And then it's like another level.
And
of
what do
all
these three have in common? They're Charlie's angels.
What about like Jimmy Fallon?
No, not good. I think he'd be really like
Funny.
which is like this is
He'd be
really a
silly.
specific thing I think he would do, which is not a bad thing to do if you're in like a very new kind of sexual relationship, which is like checking in throughout, you know, like
Yeah.
constant
Oh
and
my God, that's
enthusiastic
actually so
consent.
hot. That
Like,
is
but
so
no,
hot.
but he would take it too far. He'd be like, "Is it okay if I touch your face? Is it okay if I brush if I do this? Is it?"
Oh my God, that's making me horny.
I don't
I
know.
just really like Jimmy Fallon.
He would take it. He would be annoying. I think
Mm.
you really like Jimmy
You know what
Fallon.
would be so interesting to like be like, which of these guys would like find us attractive? I just don't know, not even like physically, like emotionally, like who,
Yeah.
whose
Who would
personality,
who
like,
would we click
who
with?
would we click with? Like if Jimmy Fallon was like 20 years younger and like we're meeting and it's like different circumstances, like who's he going for, you or me? I'm hoping me because
I'm
I want
hoping
him and you
too.
don't.
I want him for you. I want him for you. I really do. I feel like Jimmy Fallon, like he seems like kind of like a bit of like a beta type,
Yeah.
which I generally click with quite well.
And I'm with those alphas, Mr. Ben Crumpet. What about like John Cena?
I think he'd
And
be
The
pretty
Rock.
good because you remember in Trainwreck, John Cena's in Trainwreck.
Yeah.
And he's really funny in it. And
He's
so I think-
actually a giant comedic talent.
and a giant body, a giant comedic physical form.
I feel like I'm just starting to wake up. I'm so sorry if this is a slow burn for me as your co-host, and I really dragged it along.
Yeah,
But
you're
I'm
really-
a human, and just like that poor man that like takes 500 sick days, I have to take a sick day sometimes.
On the one day that we do something, which is
Yeah.
every second Tuesday that we record this to be
Yes,
the
but
release.
it's going weekly. Why can't I take
every
credit for
Tuesday.
that?
Let's
now?
try. Let's just try. I'll see you next week then. If you think that you can do it, if you think that we can record weekly,
I think we can.
Okay.
I think we can.
okay.
But I had to watch August Osage County, and we haven't even talked about
That's
my
why
real
you were
day.
late. You were half an hour.
I had therapy today, and that's not why I was
okay,
like
that's why you're coming in so combative.
an hour a thing, and then I also like sort of kind of like had my boyfriend like talk to me about a serious issue. I'm not
Ooh.
cleaning up enough,
Yeah,
so I need to like do that on top of all the other things that I'm like fully stressed about. And you know, I'm like in a tailspin after this, so it's like, you know, I'm like fine, but also it's been a lot today.
Okay, it's been a big
And
day.
I have to be funny, haha, with people's gossip that can literally ruin lives. With my best friend who gave me a beautiful salad with a fork.
I did, and it wasn't. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Well, I've had a hard day too. I had that nightmare about you and Ray Romano, and then my cat has been crazy today.
Yeah, she did. I mean, he did run up
And
your full back.
He climbed
It
my
was
body like a
so-
tree.
I didn't see it. I was pissing, but like I imagine
Yeah.
it was so
She heard me
funny.
scream. Did you hear me
Yeah.
scream? He does what I imagine is, you know what people always say, like, if you see a goanna, you should lie down on the ground because they will
What?
climb up your
Are
body.
you serious?
That's what people say.
I
That
didn't know that.
goannas will think you're a tree and climb up you, and their claws are much worse than Tony's,
So
my cat.
Why would people say that then? If they kill it, they can hurt you.
because then it will just like ignore you.
It won't dig in.
It won't
It'll just
climb.
walk.
It might just walk over your body.
That's so
It won't climb
fun.
you.
Okay, Lauren, if we both saw one, who would be like filming it? Who would be on the floor?
I think if I saw it going, I would just run away.
And I think I would be on the floor. And I'd
And-
make you film.
Yeah, I'd film. But then I would want to be on the floor if I was in the vicinity because I don't want to
So
stand
we're
up
both-
filming.
We're both on the floor.
I don't want
Okay.
to see it going. I don't want to be in nature.
Let's wrap it up. What's the last thing?
We were going to play a little game that we teased just before.
Mm.
So we're in the last minute of the podcast. And before we play our little wrap-up game, we'll say definitely please check out The Curious Cat. Send us in your gossip,
Where is the
family
link
secrets.
for the Curious Cat.
It's on my Twitter.
Great.
At Lauren Y. Bonner, or if you
We'll
just search
maybe put
big
it in the
natural
notes.
talents. Yeah, we'll put it in the notes.
We'll put it in our bios, like, you know,
Yeah,
wherever else to
just-
find it. Thank you for the reviews that have been coming in. Like, we should actually praise you for the
Thank
work that you've
you
done.
very much.
But also, there's more to do.
there is more to do.
There's actually more to do because there's more than like 7 people who listen to this pod, would you believe?
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want to say it a million times, but I will.
Oh, quickly, lastly, I have one more little bit of gossip, and then we can try to like turn it into a gun to your head or something.
Okay.
This one just came in. Also, if you send us gossip and we don't talk about it, we're like saving it for
We
later.
hate you. Sorry, that's
No,
why.
Okay,
No,
we're
I'm
rationing
just
it.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
He said, "Love the podcast. Thank you so much. Love you."
Oh, thank you.
And he had his boyfriend at the time over. This was a few years ago, and his dad just like messaged him and was like, "Oh, hey, I'm at the front of your house. Can I come in and measure a doorway or something?" Some dad shit. But his dad didn't know that he was gay at the time, and so he was like, "Fuck, okay, like, can you just like hide? I'll go see if my dad is okay." And then he went down, and the dad like wanted to come inside, and so he
No.
was like, "You need to hide." And so his boyfriend was like hiding in his house, and then his dad was like, "I need to pee." And then he was like, "Okay, like, where's my boyfriend?" And his boyfriend was in the shower with a curtain.
No!
Movie style. And then his dad went in and peed while the boyfriend was hiding behind the shower curtain.
Oh my God, for some reason I thought the dad was going in the shower.
No, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
The dad
Pisses
got in
in
the
the
shower and pissed.
Sorry, my brain wasn't making. That's a
But imagine
crazy
that.
story. That's like a different psycho.
Imagine if you were pissing in your son's toilet and then some man pulled back the shower curtain and was like, "Your son's gay!"
That would be so funny.
That would be really funny.
Okay, now to the game, gun to your head.
Yep.
I love saying gun to your head. It's a fetish I have.
Yeah, so it's kind of something you would ask like before you make someone make like a decision. So just before Concetta was having this salad, and I was like, "Gun to your head, do you want some hummus on this?" She
Because
said no.
I said gun to your head to your boyfriend something.
Yeah, you said, because my boyfriend's just changed jobs from the
Oh,
corporate
yeah.
field to the education field, and she said, "Gun to your head, would you rather spend 24 hours with psycho computers or psycho kids?"
Because Lauren said that he seems much happier, even
He
though his
does.
job is psycho with these kids. So then I was like, gun to your head. And it was so fun. So then we're like, this is the game.
Yeah.
So I've thought of already one.
Okay, go.
Shoot.
Shoot.
Gun to your head, fork or spoon. Forever.
Fork. No. Fuck.
Could never have ice cream. It just,
You could never have soup. Because you could drink anything that really needed a
Yeah.
spoon.
So you're saying, oh, you're saying fork.
I think I might say fork. Which I know is kind of crazy. I know you're saying spoon, so I won't point the gun back at you. All right. I haven't even thought of one.
Gun to your head, blonde or brunette for yourself for the rest of your life.
Blonde.
Whoa.
I would look amazing as a blonde.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Gun to your head. Would you rather live in Tasmania or New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Yeah, me too.
Of
New
course
Zealand's
you
a
would.
whole country.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What? Hey, it's still everything fits for gun to your head.
Gun to your head, bus or train?
Train.
Yeah, me too.
Gun to your head, Tony Soprano or Tony Soprano your cat?
Tony, my cat.
Yeah.
Unless you meant like James Gandolfini, I can
Yeah.
bring him back to life.
Yeah, that's what it means.
That's not what it meant. That is
Okay,
not what you meant.
Gun to your head, tonight you have to watch either Doubt or August Osage County.
Doubt.
Good choice. Both are both are good. You know what? It's been happening every week. Gun to your head, leave a review for this show.
Yeah, the gun is actually there. Gun to your head, listener. leave a review to the show, or otherwise little bullets are going to come out of your AirPods. I've called Apple and your AirPods are guns. And they're saying if you don't leave us a review, they're going to shoot. Okay? And I reckon that's the episode.
That's it. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank
We
you so
love
much.
you.
Send us your gossip. Send us your feedback. If you hate the idea of the gossip thing, if you just think it
us.
sucks, just let us know. Just let us know
We'll
if there's
pick a different
anything
one.
else we've done on the podcast that you think we should hone in on more. Just let us know. Shoot us a message. Shoot us a curious cat if you want to remain anonymous. But otherwise,
Bye.